Welcome. Let me tell you, man, obviously, final judgment right here, Tony Jigsaw Cutillo. Game four post-game, game 4 recap. I don't know how long we're going to sit here and talk about this because the Phillies bats are still trying to wake up right now. That's all I got to say. They're still trying to wake up. We just got Chris Carpenter. Yes, we just got Chris Carpenter. Remember when Chris Carpenter came out and completely destroyed the Philly bats? Again, that's what happened with Christian Javier. But I will tell you this. I am 100% disgusted. I am pissed off. Again, I love this team. I will go down with this team. I will continue to ride with this team, but to get no hit at home in a pivotal game, you just took every single piece of momentum and you absolutely gave it to the Houston Astros. Everything you did up to this point, guess what? It means nothing now. Zero. Nothing. Game 1, nothing. Game 2, nothing. Game 3, nothing. Even though we lost it doesn't matter. Every moment that you had is now done. Now done. There's so many. I want to get into the comments in a minute. I just have to vent because I'm sitting there. Okay, first inning, second inning, third inning, and this not to take anything away from Christian Javier. Okay, now Christian Javier, and again, please do me a favor. Okay, everybody on the timeline, everybody on social media, everybody just wants to completely kill the Phillies. Now they're jumping off, and I said this and I said that. Listen, this right now, I really don't give a shit. It doesn't matter. I don't care what anybody said. I don't care if anybody said they're going to win in 4, 5, or 6 or 7. Guess what? None of that matters. Zero. It doesn't matter. You could take that and shove it. Seriously. It doesn't matter. What we just witnessed is what matters. And I don't even know where to begin. Honestly, I don't even know where to begin because you cannot allow this to happen. You can't. I don't care if you lose. I don't care. I'd much rather lose from a crushing blow, like a walk-off home run. I don't even care. You do not get no hit. Don't get no hit. It's simple as that. I didn't even get to the accolades. Again, it's the final judgment. Tony Jigsaw Cutillo, powered by Heat Racer Sports, powered by Windows Sports, brought to you by SEObrand.com, the place where all analytics begin. I'm even getting my words tongue tied right now because I'm so pissed off. I cannot believe that I just wasted my time on that garbage. And I'm not giving up. Please don't take that as me saying that the Phillies. No, what we saw was just garbage. It was garbage. And I am not going to blame Aaron Nolan. People can sit here and talk about Aaron Nolan. And yes, he didn't have his number one game. And, he did basically put the Phillies in a precarious situation. But the Phillies went up there with the complete wrong approach, and they never adjusted. The one thing the Phillies have done these entire playoffs is being able to adjust to the pitcher. We saw it in San Diego, right? We saw it in San Diego with Yu Darvish, right? Yu Darvish was mowing us down. We were able to adjust every single time. We were able to adjust, and tonight we just did not adjust. We did not adjust. Seriously, I honestly, I'm going to get all these comments now. Let's start looking at the comments, because I'm going to tell you right now, I am not sitting here for an hour tonight. I'm not sitting here for 45 minutes. I'm so pissed off. I'm so frustrated. It's a huge demoralizing loss right now. Yeah, yes, we're going to come back tomorrow. We're still home. I get it. It was completely and utterly a disgrace, in my opinion, for that to happen tonight. There's no questions asked. I'm going to tell you what. The Philadelphia Phillies players are probably going to tell you the same damn thing. They're going to tell you the same thing because they know this was ridiculous. My man Ryan checking in says that guy was unhittable. Phillies have to win tomorrow, 100%. Or you just had to show them repping the Padres is a deal breaker for me. Yeah, listen, you have to win tomorrow. You just have to win tomorrow. Javon checking in says, I got a vent, Tony. I'm disappointed and disgusted. I agree. We're in the same day. Jose, sad day, man. Yeah, it's a very, very sad Saturday. Harry says it's decimating, demoralizing. I mean, every ounce of those words is exactly what it is. Roddy says Javier was a beast, and so am I. I mean, listen, Javier was a beast, man. I get it. But guess what? I don't think he was unhittable. Again, I don't think he was unhittable. I think that he was able to be hit, and for some reason, we just were overmatched in our own heads tonight, and everything that could go wrong went wrong. Simple as that. We did not pick up on anything tonight. Sean says 0 energy for the first pitch. Exact vibe is game 2. Yeah, you know what? It's funny, Sean, you say that, because I completely agree. When in game 2, even taking all that crap away about people maybe cheating and this and that, it just didn't feel right. That whole game didn't feel right. The entire vibe of that game just did not feel right. Nothing felt right at that time. And again, we're looking at the same exact thing that happened tonight, and even worse, because you get no hit. You get no hit. We watched a perfect game. We watched a no hitter by Roy Halladay in the playoffs, and again, we sit here and now we're on the other end of it in our own hometown. Our own hometown. It's just, I'm sorry, like this dude wasn't up there being Greg Maddux tonight, man. I mean, I know he was good and he was dominant, but there's no. To me, there's no excuse not to be able to hit the ball tonight. I'm sorry. Ryan says, I disagree. They'll be back. Yeah, listen, they will be back tomorrow. I agree. I'm not saying that we're done. What I'm saying is it's demoralizing, and it's everything that we've done up to this point, right? Every single thing now has to be washed away, because there's pivotal moments. I can't even talk right now. I'm so pissed off, but there's pivotal moments, okay, in a series. especially when you're up 2-1, when everything is in your corner, when the odds are in your favor, okay? When there's this little glimmer of hope that you can give a team and let them in. And that's what happened tonight. Everything. That's what happened tonight. 100%. That's what happened tonight. You let them in. You let them back in. They willed their way back into the series. I'm not saying they were going to. Listen again. I said 6-7. This is. Let me get this out of the way real fast. Before I get to more comments, I said this last night. Right. This is the Houston Astros. 106 wins. Best team in baseball this year. It's the Houston Astros. For anybody who thought they were going to lay down and just take defeat, you're sadly mistaken, right? I said that. So, it was expected for me for them to come out and hit the ball. But what I'm saying is you can't, as a team, come out and get no hit. That just can't happen. That cannot happen. My man Al says, I called Phillies at 6, so I never thought we would. Al, I hear you, honestly, but it doesn't. That right now doesn't matter. We're talking about two different things. Houston's a good team. No, they're not a good team. They're a great team. They're a great team. Okay, that's what they are. Houston is a great team. I'm not a homer here. They are a great team. No hit, losing 5-0, losing 20-0, or getting 15 hits. A loss is a loss. No, it's not. Now, you know what, Al? I love you, man. Honestly, and we do, but I completely disagree with that statement. A loss is not a loss. There's ways to lose a game. Okay. And this is the one way you do not lose a game. This is the kind of loss that you do not want. 0. Okay. You do not want. A loss is not a loss. Okay. This isn't a 5-4 loss. This isn't a 6-3 loss. This isn't a 5-1 loss. This is a no-hit decimating loss. Okay. At your hometown. All right. That's the problem. It can't happen. Rich says, I just don't understand how they couldn't catch up with this. That's Rich, it's boggling my mind. I don't understand it. Like, again, 94, 95, 96. I understand. Listen, I wasn't a great hitter in baseball. Okay. I'm not saying, and again, I am by far not a Major League Baseball player. Okay. But I'm watching and I'm going, okay, the dude's throwing 2 pitches. 2 pitches. I don't know. Like, I don't know. I know there's a mental part, a guessing game. Okay. But it was really, really bad juju tonight. And I had a bad vibe and I had bad energy, man. Riding says, how do you think I felt about the Padres? I hear you. Like, I get it, right? I get it, but the Padres didn't get no hit, man. Like, this is a real big deal to me. Really big deal. Sean says they got beat by a dude. Sean, exactly. I didn't even read your comment, and we're right on the same page. This dude threw a fastball and a slider, literally 2 pitches. 2 pitches. I don't understand. I don't understand. Ryan says, Philly, I know they'll be back. I get it. I'm not saying they're done. What I'm saying is that this is a huge mountain to climb now. This changes the entire narrative of this series. Okay. By no means is this series done. But what I'm saying is, you have points in the series where there's an advantage on both teams, right? One or the other. And now the advantage just went from Philly right to Houston. Simple as that. If you don't believe that the advantage is now in the Houston Astros' favor with a bullpen game coming tomorrow, okay, with a demoralizing loss, then I don't know what you're watching, because you're not watching the same thing that we are watching. Javon says Castellanos is an automatic out along with Hoskins. To not make solid contact is despicable. I'll tell you what, man. And you know me, Javon. I've been on Castellanos for what he's been able to do to fill in for Bryce Harper out there in the outfield. He's made some tremendous plays. He's come up with hits time and time again. At moments, right? Is Pat at doubles at moments, but man, does he look bad at the plate sometimes. And one thing is, I'm sitting there watching the game, and my daughter said the same thing to me, and I know you guys watch the same thing. She's like, Dad, he's pulling his head out of every swing. Like, he's swinging, his head's looking at third base above the dugout, and he's swinging the bat. He can't even see the ball. Like, he's literally looking at nothing. Okay, he's swinging right to the ball because his eyes aren't even on the ball. He's not staying down on the ball. He's pulling out on every pitch. I don't know what's going on. Reese Hoskins, he's either home run or swinging garbage. That's what he does. I mean, that's who he is. So, unfortunately, I've learned to accept that. I hate it, but that's who he is, and that's what we have to live by. Problem is, these guys can't all do it at the same time. We said that before. Arias says it happens to the best brother. Listen, I'm not upset. I'm so disappointed. Like, I have to say that. Like, I really am. Like, I don't care about losing. Honestly, I'm not one of those sore losers. I want to blame everything, this and that. I'm so disappointed, man. It is like what I'm feeling right now is what a lot of those fans are out there is what they're feeling. Like I said, you lose the game, I get it, but you don't get no hit in your own house in a pivotal game. Okay, it just doesn't happen. You cannot allow this to happen. You just can't. I'm sorry. Looked like Joe Girardi managed the Philly team. I don't know, man. It was tough tonight. It was tough. Javon says Noah didn't have his A or B stuff and did not attack these hitters. Meanwhile, the bullpen was able to get out. Yeah, I mean Alvarado came in a really bad spot. They put him in a really, really bad spot. Unfortunately, comes in, he hits Alvarez. Okay, and then the rest is history. I mean, that's all they needed. They needed that one inning. And unfortunately, we never could get back on track. Rich says, not in this game. It was embarrassing. You can't get dominated like that at home. They never adjusted to the pitcher. They kept doing the same thing at the plate. Plate discipline was absolutely abominable. It was a listen. It was so pitiful. I'm trying to be like just get the right words here because again I'm demoralized myself from watching that. Jose, I'm at a loss of words. It is. I mean, it's such like we were like up here. It's like boom, man. Like what a gut punch this game was. It was a complete gut punch, man. If you don't think it's a gut punch, we're not watching the same product. Rich says they have to win tomorrow without question. It's do or die tomorrow, and you have to go 3-2 going back to Houston. I mean, this is what you did. You shifted the entire series and rested it on a bullpen game. Right? That's the biggest thing. Like you took the entire series and you rested it on a bullpen game. Like again, are we not worried about that? I mean, oh my god, like I just man, I'm so distraught. I'm looking at my phone. I had some tweets and again, I don't even know if I can read them. I'm so like because everything I was looking at, it just didn't work, right? It just didn't work. I think let me see. I think the one that I had before I get to the comments was from Jeff Kerr. Jeff Kerr CBS at Jeff Kerr CBS. Aaron Nola just wasn't good enough. Couldn't get out in the fifth. Run support or not, he needed to be better. Do I agree or disagree? I do feel like he should have been better. But it can't rest solely on Aaron Nola. Okay, these bats need to come alive, and they didn't, man, and they didn't. Yeah, they're wow. I'm just looking at some stats, and oh, man, guys, I'm so upset. Ronnie said I'm so, he says I'm a beast, and I'm looking at and he says I'm so upset. I was wondering, I was like, man, Ronnie's just coming out straight up saying I'm a beast. I'm like, okay. I mean, maybe he's got the muscles tonight. I don't know. I'm just kidding, man. It's great. Javon says we talked about Javier last night too, and we did. We talked about Javier and how good he could be. The Phillies couldn't catch up to the fastball. And the thing is, Javon, I completely agree. We did talk about him, and we did say again he is a strikeout pitcher, but just to go and not be able to make contact at certain points and just never able to adjust. I'm sorry, it just didn't sit well with me, man. 9 strikeouts is a lot. I didn't think he'd get that. I didn't think he'd be as dominant. I mean, I was doing the numbers before because I was doing some props, and this is a guy who gave up not in the postseason, but his last 18 games gave up 14 home runs. He gave up 4 home runs in a row, 4 games in a row in a span within those last 18 games. So it's a guy, even though in the post he's been unhittable, he showed the ability to be hit, okay, in recent memory. And the Phillies just made it look easy tonight. At Rises, Astros probably did cheat. They're the best cheaters in the game. I don't know, man. Jesse checking in says, Jesus Christ. Yeah, Jess, I feel the same way, man. I feel the same way. I mean, you just sum it up. Jesus Christ. What else do you say? Like, honestly, what else do you say? It's not that we're praying or anything. It's just like, what the hell did what did we just watch? Sean says, if they won tonight, they won the series because there's no way they lose 3 in a row if they win tonight. Again, pivotal game 4, and it just didn't happen. Rich says JT 3Ks, Harper 2Ks, Nick 3Ks, Bone 3Ks, Stott 3Ks. It's just unacceptable. It can't happen. And I'm gonna say this is one thing I'll vent about. Okay, for anybody, and I know Sean has his coaching, and I know I coach, and I know guys here either coach or they're very familiar with the game. But please don't complain about third strike calls. Okay, I don't give a shit if they're so borderline and you don't, and maybe it's a ball. You're taught all the time, swing the friggin' bat if it's close. It's simple as that. I don't care if you throw the bat at the ball. I don't care if you gently place the bat at the ball. It doesn't matter. Please stop bitching and complaining about close strike calls on a full count. You have to protect the plate. My God, it's like the most fundamental thing you learn as a hitter growing up. That's the one thing. I don't care if it's the Houston Astros. I don't care if it's the Philadelphia Phillies. That really pisses me off. Just friggin' swing the bat, man. If it's close, swing. And if it's not, walk off and deal with it. Walk off and deal with it. Simple as that. Ryan says you kind of have to expect these things happen, but a no-hitter. Nonetheless, a no-hitter. No, we never expect to be no-hit in our house. A guy that throws 2 goddamn pitches. Rich says it's the way they lost. Absolutely. It's just unacceptable. It's demoralizing. I think we all agree with that. 100%. I would have felt better, Javon says, if they scratched the run. Exact showed something. I mean, Javon, how many times did we talk about on this show? How many times did we say, I mean, Christ, I even threw shorts out about it. I threw segments out about it. I mean, the will to this team, even when they're down, they just show life, whether it be the bullpen, whether it be the Phillies bats. They just never quit. 10, 11 pitch at bats, get on base, try to make something happen. And there was nothing tonight, man. Nothing tonight. Ryan says, I agree. I was happy the Padres made every game a nail. But listen, we talked about that. Ryan, right? We 100% talked about that. It was a counterpunch back and forth from each team in that series. Now, nobody got completely obliterated. It constantly was back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And you respected it either way when you won or you lost. I can't respect this loss, man. I just can't. Al says, do you forget losing 9-1? Again, Al, 9-1 against the Braves. Do you see the 1? Like, I get it, but we didn't get no hit. We didn't get no hit, man. You can't get no hit and show zero energy in your house in a pivotal game. It can't happen, man. You could say, Al, let me ask you this. I'll say this. This feels like every bit of the Philadelphia 76ers losing Game 7 to the Atlanta Hawks on our court in our home. That's what this feels like to me. Okay, and I know that series was over at that time, but that's how I feel right now. That is the loss that I feel. That's the emotion that I feel. Okay, that's how devastating that loss was to me. And this right here is exactly the way I feel. Sean says, Albert, they didn't get no hit. Exactly. Sean, I am literally one step ahead of you. I love that. I feel bad. I want you to know, I don't want you to think I'll steal your thunder at all. Like, I'm going through comment to comment. I look at your comment, bro, we are on the same exact page. I absolutely love it. It's great. We are thinking exactly the same. Ryan says, like, Manny Machado closes his eyes when he swings. Exactly. It's crazy. It's crazy. Well, one good thing is, and Rich is going to like this, one good thing is it's early. It's early. And look, we got Doc Rivers checking in. Hot girls are waiting here. Doc is checking in. It's 12:01. It's after midnight. And Doc Rivers checking in after a Wizards loss, or after a loss to the Wizards. And Doc's checking in. Doc, what's up, buddy? How you doing? Rich says, I would have dropped Nick down to 8 or 9 in the line. Segura is in a terrible funk. Segura couldn't hit anything right now. It's been for Segura, it's been really bad. He is turned into almost an automatic out right now, and he just can't get with it. He can't get with it. So he has to snap out of it. Leonard says it wasn't the players that screwed up, it was the coaches. Nola should have been pulled after the first hit in the fifth inning. You know what? I don't know. I don't know. I see a lot of people talking about that. I see a lot of people thinking that he should have been taken out. I'm not 100% positive. I think that he missed a couple pitches. He didn't get killed after those pitches. They were good pitches, but they were the wrong selection, right? It was the wrong pitch selection. I don't really think it was the location. I think it was the wrong pitch selection. And I think John Smoltz was alluding to that, whether, you respect Smoltz's commentary or not. I think he was alluding to that as well. So I really think that Aaron Nola didn't pitch as bad as everybody's talking about. And Rob Thompson did. We knew what he was going to do. He was going to bring Alvarado in to face Alvarez. It was simple as that. I don't think, I don't think he was left in too long. I just think that, he just didn't have his A+ stuff again, and it's sad. It stinks. Al says we got hit with a 2-piece and knocked down in the 4th round. We have to get up and let's see what we're made of. Obviously we have to get up, but we got to see. But my man, listen, I can always count on something. My man Jim checking in. Jim checking in says, make Trey Turner a priority, right? Make Trey Turner a priority. I don't know, Jim. I don't know, honestly. I'm not prepared to talk about the off season right now. I still have confidence, in this team to still win this in 6 or 7. I do. They don't give up tonight. I'm just calling it the way I see it. It was a demoralizing loss. It's something that just can't happen. Ryan says, I wish I would have been watching the good, the bad, and the ugly. Nice post there. I like that. Leonard says Nola looked done, and the coaches couldn't see it. I guess I honestly, Leonard, I didn't look at the velocity. I don't know if the velocity dipped. I really didn't see that. I just saw that he had a problem locating specific pitches sometimes. Again, and I think that's what we've seen. It wasn't, where Wheeler is more of a velocity drop, and I don't think Nola's was a velocity drop. I think it was more of location. So, yeah, I think the coaches, it's not that they didn't want to see it. I think it's they just were hoping that he could battle through it. Because, again, let's face it, these coaches are looking at this situation and saying they don't expect to get no hit. They don't expect their offense that has been just, killing and crushing the ball to go completely silent. I mean, bats have been silent before, but they get no hit and they get absolutely destroyed and manhandled by a 2-pitch pitcher. I don't think they were seeing that. I really don't. Rye says, I do Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube, Twitter, TikTok, and the rest can go too. I'll hold my tongue. Rich says, Bryce Harper just said that we just ran into a good pitcher. He was hitting his spots, and we didn't do what we needed to do. We have to flush this game in the toilet and come out and be ready for tomorrow. His slider was excellent. Okay. I mean, listen, I still, you can't get no hit. Rich says, yeah, take the bat off the shoulder. If it's close, swing, not take the walk. Exactly. Ryan says, Padres, let's look at strikes. Yeah, MO. That is their MO. They looked at a lot of strikes in that series. Jose says, we mainly got on base from walks, and that's a shame. And that's the thing. We got on base, right? We got on base at walks, and we were there to make something happen. And again, nothing, because we couldn't hit the damn ball. And that's what hurts. Rich says, I just posted how many players had 2 to 3 strikeouts tonight. They were overmatched. A no-hitter gets in your head. It does. Al says, I feel that, but it's only game 4. I know it is. Again, still, but this one really, really hurts. Rich says Doc got beat, so he figured he would brighten the day with some porn since coaching isn't a priority. Just so you know, I got to throw this out there for anybody new to the channel. This is kind of like our own inside joke. If you don't realize, back, when Doc supposedly got his Twitter account hacked, and all of a sudden he was liking all these porn streams and messages, and he had to come out and say how he's a man of faith, and it definitely wasn't him, and this and that. I just think it's funny because every now and then you get these bots that check in the YouTube, and they're like porn bots, and I'm like, oh, it's always after midnight, and always when we're doing a stream. So I was like, hey, Doc, maybe I got your phone again, Doc. You're checking in right here to the final judgment. But Al says Harper just said good pitching will beat good hitting any day of the week. That is true. Al, that's a great statement. That is a great statement. It is true. Unfortunately, good pitching, yes. This was great pitching. And again, this was great pitching, but still, it was hittable. And I think they all really know that. Will says, yes, this series has completely turned around for the Astros. 100%. I completely agree. Willis, I don't know if you're a Houston fan or a Philly fan or just a baseball fan in general. But again, we bring everybody onto this platform, and I agree. I said it earlier. This is the momentum swing, the pendulum when it goes back and forth, right, in a series. And, we had all the momentum. Even after that loss in game 2, it didn't matter. We saw it all back in game 3. And now not only momentum, they have the whole pendulum right now because they control the destiny now. They control the destiny. I mean, we have Justin Verlander, okay? Justin Verlander, who you could say what you want, but we have Justin Verlander going up against our bullpen game, okay, tomorrow night. Or actually, I can say tonight because it's 12:07. That's something to be concerned about. It's something to be concerned about. Again, Ryan says, hey, brother, sorry about the loss. I have some things to do before I go to sleep, but enjoy your channel, and I pray tonight for Verlander to have a repeat performance. Riding, I appreciate it, as always, for checking in, man. I do. I appreciate it. Thanks for, no pun intended, but thanks for riding with us here on this channel after these post-game shows to get the instant reaction of the fans, of everybody, whether you're down there, whether you're watching it. Yeah, man, I appreciate it, and we'll see you tomorrow night for sure. Javon says that the Phillies ultimately lose this series, this will be the game to look back at. 100%. This will 100% be that game that they look back up and say, why? Right? Willis says Verlander will pitch better tomorrow. Astros will have 2 games at home to close it out. Again, it's all in your court now. It's 100% in your court, right? Odds are that Justin Verlander is not going to pitch poorly tomorrow or tonight. I'm sorry. I keep saying tomorrow, but it's tonight. Odds are Verlander is not going to pitch poorly tonight. He is going to be the Justin Verlander that we expect that pitch for those first 3 to 4 innings. Okay. Again, it's something. The only thing you hope is that this loss isn't like any normal loss for the Philadelphia Phillies, and it really kicks them into gear. Not like they listen again. 100%. Am I saying that they've never stepped up for a game? But this is a huge spot, right? This is just like a clincher tomorrow because you cannot go down 3-2 going back to Houston, right? You have to pull out all the stops. 100% pull out all the stops tomorrow. I mean, whoever wins tomorrow, I keep saying it again, it's tonight. Whoever wins tonight is winning the World Series. I'm going to tell you that right now. Al says, no comments about the offseason yet. Please, no. I mean, please, no. Don't question the guy that has got to get us where we are. Thank God he didn't listen to the fans. Don't question the guy that has got us to where we are. Thank God he didn't listen to the fans. Again, he's talking about Rob Thompson, right? He's talking about Rob Thompson. I was talking about Rob Thompson. The guy's pushed all the right buttons. Okay. And he has. Listen, it's all on the players right there. He put, I know it's a high pressure spot. I get it. Put Alvarado where he's comfortable at. Hey, coach, give me the ball. And it just didn't happen. I don't think he left Nola in too long. I think everything just kind of spun out of control a little bit. And, usually our bats pick it up. And eventually, we've said this before, right? We said eventually those bats aren't going to be able to pick us up. Right? We said that there's going to be a point in time where those bats are not going to be able to pick us up. And unfortunately, that was tonight in the worst time. Well, it says the only reason the Phillies won 3 games was McCullers was tipping his pitches. You won't see him again. Now here's the thing, Wills. I completely agree. I completely disagree. Okay. Listen, you can come on the page and we can have a cool back and forth, okay, which I'm all about. Houston fans, not Houston fans, but to say the only reason why they won game 3 was his tipping his pitches is ridiculous. Okay. It's ridiculous. Because at the end of the day, whether you're tipping pitches or not, you still have to hit the friggin' baseball. Okay. And last time I checked, it's not easy to hit 5 home runs in one game. Okay. So I disagree with you on that. I do agree that he was tipping pitches and it gives you an advantage, but you still have to hit the ball, right? You still have to hit the ball and not only hit the ball hard, but hit it 400 feet in order to get runs. And that's what the Phillies had to do. I mean, simple as that. So yeah, they deserve the win, and yes, they won't face McCullers again. That's fine. But last time I checked, they did hit around Justin Verlander as well. So it will be interesting to see what happens tonight. Rich says a reporter just asked Schwarber about the no-hitter. He said, I really couldn't give a shit. We got no hit. We move on to tomorrow. A great statement, right? I hope that's exact because that's how I feel, right? But we need the players to feel that way, 100%. Ryan says, cheers. The final judgment. Hit that thumbs up, man. Good night, man. Yeah, I appreciate it. Everybody watching on YouTube, make sure you're hitting that thumbs up. Make sure you're hitting the like button. Make sure you're hitting the subscribe button. As always, it is greatly appreciated. Al says, I agree with him. Tomorrow is a new day. You're right. Amen. 100%. My man Joe checking in says, tip the cap and move on. Better than a walk-off. I don't know, Joe. See, that's where I disagree with you. I'd much rather a walk-off. Really, in this game, in this atmosphere, what was on the line, I'd much rather a walk-off. Give me a walk-off any day of the week. I don't want a demoralizing loss like this, and that's what I'm thinking. This was a demoralizing loss that's going to get in your head now. I don't care about the walk-offs. I need it. I needed to hit a ball. That's what I need to do, and it just didn't happen. Javon says, you hope this offense didn't go into a tailspin because we've seen this happen before in the regular season where the bats go silent. You're right. And that's always your biggest fear that the bats go silent for good, right? And they don't wake back up. I honestly don't think that'll be the case. I think they've gotten up for these big games before when their backs are up against the wall. We've seen it many times. But again, I'll say it and I'll reiterate it. This is a good baseball team on the other side. All right. This isn't the Tampa Bay Rays that were faced in 2008. This is the Houston Astros. So we have to expect this. But like I said, I don't expect our bats to go silent and to get no hit. Willis says, wishful thinking about Verlander. See, now you're starting to egg it on a little bit, man. You're starting to egg it on a little bit. I don't know about wishful thinking about Verlander. Okay. If you understood what I said I said that I agree that Verlander would be better. So it may, unless you're telling me wishful thinking in your opinion, saying that you don't think he's going to be better. I don't know. You tell me, man. But that's where I'm at. I think he's going to be better. And I think that's why we really have some work to do. Joseph Castellanos should have let that pitch hit him. It would have been his best contact this series. Joe, we were talking about it earlier. This dude's not hitting anything. He's swinging, pulling his head out of every at bat. He's just not staying on the ball. I mean, I don't know, man. He is such a frustrating player, man. He makes good plays out in the field, and then, he'll get that double. He'll run the bases and, get you a nice slide at home. But then he comes up and he just whiffs like so bad at some pitches, man. It's just bad. Joe says that game was 7-0. It was more than tipping pitches. Exactly. Come on, man. It was way more than tipping pitches. But, if you want to stick to that, you can go hang out with Mattress Mac. How's that? Rich says all the stops have to be pulled. They have to look at this game as game 7 tomorrow or tonight. I think if Noah gets through 3 innings tomorrow, then the bullpen has to come in. It has to come through once again. It does. I mean, listen, this is game 7 tomorrow. Like we said earlier, this is 100% game 7 tomorrow. Willis, it's very easy when you know what's coming. Dude, are you serious? Like, honestly, I'm a big Barry Bonds supporter, okay? I don't care that he did steroids. I don't care about the steroid era. Everybody was doing steroids. The bench coaches were doing steroids. The first base coaches were doing steroids. The mop-up duty pitchers were doing steroids. You still got to hit the damn ball. Barry Bonds could have injected as much as he wanted to into his body. He still had to hit the ball in McCovey Cove. It's simple as that. So yes, it's not very easy when you know it's coming. Okay, you still have to put your eyes to it, and you have to hit the ball 400 feet. Okay, it's not simple. If it was simple, everybody would be doing it. He's not the first pitcher to tip pitches. Okay, it happens. Pitchers tip pitches all the time. But last time I checked, you don't always see 7 home runs, just or 7 runs on 5 home runs. You just don't see it. Joe says Shane Nelson. Shane Nelson is up for falter. They need that slop to keep him off balance like Ranger did. It's a good point, right? That's a good point. I mean, this Houston team, they look at Ranger Suarez, and he was unhittable to them more than a guy like it's funny how it changes, right? They actually feasted on a guy like Wheeler and Nola, whereas a guy like Ranger and like to Joe's point, a guy like Bailey Falter, who only throws those 2 pitches but picks his spots, they're the ones who stymie the offense. So it's true. Like it would have been nice to get an inning or two from Bailey Falter because of the way he throws the ball. So yeah, but again, listen, it's in Noah we trust. It's in Noah we trust right now. Noah, I mean, who would have thought that we'd be sitting here right now on a or I'm going to say Saturday. It feels like a Saturday. On a Thursday morning, early Thursday morning, talking about Noah Syndergaard being the end-all, be-all in a pivotal Game 5 at home, in order to take the momentum back on a very demoralizing loss, man. Willis says, you owe the Astros for giving you that game that put you in the playoffs. Come on, man. You're killing me. Now you're trolling a little bit. I can have a great conversation, but come on, man. Bring some validity to the conversation and we can keep going. Rich says, stop. You go up there and you try to hit a home run. The pitcher could tell exactly what pitch it is, and you still couldn't hit it. And that's the thing, man. So many people could be in that same situation. Al says, if baseball was that easy, more players would hit 325 or 350 at least. Exactly, because they study the footage, right? I mean, this is why I was saying I love John Smoltz so much, because he teaches you, during these telecasts on how to see these pitches, right? He's telling you exactly at that point what these pitchers are doing, right? How it's coming. They show it, how it's coming out of the hand, right? How it's coming out of the hand. So these pitchers are studying that. So, yeah, they're seeing this even if they're not tipping pitches. Okay, they're guessing pitches. Even if they guess right, they still have to hit it on contact. It's not easy. If it was easy, everybody would do it. So let's do this, okay? What has to happen? Let's move on to this conversation before we get out of here. What has to happen tonight? What has to happen tonight? That's what I want to say. What has to happen tonight? So right now, I mean, Noah Syndergaard, is 3 innings enough? Let me ask you that. Is 3 innings from Noah Syndergaard enough tonight? Does Noah Syndergaard, we talked about this before with the fans, okay? Does he bump up the velocity tomorrow night enough to where he could stymie this offense for the Houston Astros that, again, still has not had any contribution from Yordan Alvarez, which is scary to me. Okay, we have to be very careful around this guy. He's an absolute beast, man. He is the Serrano from Major League for the Houston Astros. He is that big, tall, powerful individual that just, I tell you, man, like he just preys on the psyche of all pitchers. Jovan says, the top 5 hitters have to get on base. They need about 4 innings from Thor. I like that. Yes, the top 5 hitters have to get on base. You have to start something. It has to start up top. I would definitely like to see some fundamental baseball tonight. I'd like to see some hit and runs. I'd like to see some bunts if possible. Get the runs over. It's something that has to happen. In 4 innings, I mean, Javon, am I asking too much for 5 innings? Am I asking too much? I mean, I don't know. What do you think? Could we get 5 innings? Al says 4 innings for Thor, no errors, and at least get 5 runs. Yeah, I mean, we're going to have to get runs tomorrow. I think that, again, I told about that before. The one thing about these pitchers in Noah Syndergaard is you're going to pitch to contact, right? He is not going to mow people down. He's not going to blow people away. You're going to pitch to contact, which means you're going to have to play stellar defense, which also means you're going to have to score a lot of runs on the other side of the plate. Okay, so that is a must. So I agree. Both Jovan and Al hit it on the head. We want at least 4 innings. I'm going to push for 5 innings from Thor. Okay, I'm going to push for 5 innings. The top of the lineup has to get it together all at once. Okay. And again, I will say this. I will say this. Sometimes making a move is necessary. And, I have to go back to whoever said it might have been Joe or Javon. I'm not sure. But whoever said to move Castellanos down in the lineup, I think that's a decision you may really, really have to look at tonight. I do. I think this is the kind of loss again that makes you do drastic changes with your lineup. Okay. I think tonight is the one time where we go against the grain a little bit and we change things up. Okay. Gene Segura has been killing us. Gene, again, it was Rich. Yeah. Rich said, I did. Yes, I did. So, Rich, yes, you said it. You get the credit 100%. Him and Segura need to be moved around. I think Rob has to do it. Rich also says, got to play a complete game of fundamental baseball. Hit and run, stealing bases, everything you can do. The whole series is on the line tonight. 100%. Javon says also going to need the hitters 6 to 9 to get on base by any means necessary. I don't trust Castellanos to do that because he always swings that first pitch. Exactly. I mean, every single hitter is going to have to do their due diligence tonight. Every single one of them. This is going to take a complete team effort in order to grab this momentum back at Citizens Bank Park and take it to Houston up 3 games to 2. As simple as that. Willis says, remember that you still have to face Valdez and Javier one more time. We face Javier one more time. That's if we go to game 7. Yeah, I mean, we'll see. I don't know, man. Is he going to pitch on short rest? I think you have to check that. I don't know if Javier will be able to pitch game 7. I'm not sure. I know we will have Ranger Suarez in game 7 if it goes 7. But again, and I like that. I don't think Javi. I mean, maybe you get him for a couple innings. I don't know. That's going to be on really, really short rest. So I'd be interested. I'd be interested to see how that goes if they do throw him into game 7, if they have to. Al says we're at home. How about 6, 7, 8 hitters come up huge? Yep. Again, 6, 7, 8 hitters come up huge, and it depends. Does he move the lineup around? Which I think we all agree he needs to do. He needs to move this lineup around right now. Because you're going to take, you need to start giving Bryce a little more protection now, especially, going after him because he's going to walk a little more. You saw tonight, even at that first at bat, that he was going to move around a little bit enough to where he was going to take some pitches. They were going to pitch around him and he was going to get a base on balls, which he did. I think you'll see more of that, especially knowing that Nick Castellanos is going to come up there free swinging. So you got to give better protection behind Bryce in these last few games. So we're going to have to do something different there. Rich says, even if it goes 7, Ranger comes to the rescue. Again, yeah, exactly. I mean, listen, I don't really know if there's any much more to say. Okay. The Phillies came in, they had the opportunity. Okay. But again, I will say this. This is the Houston Astros. I'll say it again. I never expected this to be a sweep. I never expected this to be 5. Okay, this is a team when you face a very, very good baseball team, possibly the best team in baseball coming into the postseason. When you face a team like that, you have to expect that they are going to play hard. Okay, they're not going to lie down. 100%. They took the loss. They came back. Now it's our turn. Now it's the Philadelphia Phillies' turn. We got gut punched. We got kicked in the face. Okay, it's like 100%. Just like the Philadelphia Eagles went in Detroit, they got kicked in the face in week 1, and they came back and boom. Right? Again, when you get kicked in the face, it's all about how you respond. It's all about how you respond. Well, it says Dusty just said he would pitch him tonight. So interesting. So and Willis, thank you for that. You just brought some good commentary to the program, and I appreciate that. Nah, man, I'm just playing with you. No, seriously though, Dusty said he'll pitch, and again, there you go. So I'll be honest with you, with the way he pitched tonight, you better win it in 6. That's all I'm gonna have to say. You better win it in 6. Al says, but I called all season. He trusts this guy to a fault. He won't change anything. He's gonna ride or die with this lineup. He could. He very well could, but I think he was close. I think he was close after game 2 with changing the lineup around, but he decided not to. But I think that was in his head a little bit tonight, and I think he knows now. If I'm a betting man, which I am, hit a couple more props tonight. Thank you, Phillies. Even though we didn't score the runs, still be able to hit some props. But I still think that as a betting man, I say Rob Thompson, I say Topper switches the mojo a little bit tonight, and he changed the lineup around. I'm going to call that. My man David checking in. Loved, as always, I love the Expos Lego. I'm pissed off. Yeah, tell us, Dave. Dave, we're all pissed off, Dave. Philadelphia Phillies will win the series. I like that. See, my man's optimistic. Optimistic. Bring it. Bring the optimism. Bring the optimism. Again, and let's keep bringing it. Bring the optimism. And know that we can still win this series. It's just going to be a bigger climb than we put ourselves in a hole right now. We put ourselves in a hole, and now we have to climb out of it. This team has been resilient all year. All year. Now, hey, Will says Verlander wins tomorrow. Astros win it in 6. Hey, but maybe you're right. We shall see. Me personally, I don't see it that way. I don't see it that way. I see the Phillies are going to come back and win this game tomorrow night. What happens in Houston, I don't know. It will, they will come back tomorrow and they will go up 3-2. Okay, in my opinion, going into a 2-game series in the Houston, facing a guy who very much had their number in game 2, and a guy that absolutely had their number tonight for game 7 if it goes to game 7. So I am 100% in agreement with anybody who feels that the Phillies will win tonight, because that they will come back. It's just a very, very tough loss to sit on. I will say this, thankfully, the only thing I will say is thankfully this loss happened now like this, and it's not a travel day tomorrow and they have to think about it. At least luckily it's over now and they can get right back on the horse tonight. They can pick up the bats and they can go back and do some damage, right? So I think that's the one thing that I would say that definitely bodes well for the Phillies, knowing that they can go right back into this and get right back on the horse, because I think that's what they need to do. I do think they'll change the lineup around a little bit. Okay. I do think that'll happen, but I still think that this team is resilient enough. They've been resilient all year. I know it's a little different. They've been resilient all year. They've never been no hit like this, especially on a big stage in the playoffs. Okay, but they've been resilient enough to come back. I think they understand this was a shock to the system a little bit. Okay, this was a shock because maybe this is indirectly, maybe this is a good thing, right? I know Javon, me and you were a little worried about this continuing on when they hit these strides, they hit these patterns where they don't hit and they last for 2, 3, 4, 5 games like they did in the regular season. But maybe this works the opposite way. Maybe this is kind of something they needed to show that, we can't always come back from 5 runs. We can't always come back from 6 runs. Even though we say we're invincible, it's okay. Maybe it's not okay. Maybe it's not okay. Okay. And you have to make it okay somehow. And the way you make it okay somehow is you come out with a different kind of mindset and you just completely come out tomorrow. Let's go first pitch swinging against Verlander tonight. Let's do that. Let's go first pitch swinging against Mr. Verlander and let's just start tearing it up as early as we can and not relying on the fifth, sixth, seventh inning to make this remarkable comeback anymore. Let's be the beneficiary of some mistakes from Justin Verlander. Like he will make, all pitchers make mistakes. He will not be perfect. There's a reason why he has a 6.38 ERA in the World Series. There's a reason why he's not a great big game post-game pitcher, okay, or postseason pitcher. Okay, there's a reason why he's not that way right now. Does he have that capability? Absolutely. But again, not having the off day, going right back on it, I think bodes well for the Philadelphia Phillies. Al says having the Eagles game on at the same time is annoying. It sucks. That sucks. It completely sucks. And that's the thing. Are we all doing split screen? Are we watching it on, are we just all in on the Phillies? Are we getting updates on our phone? I mean, what are we doing in Philadelphia? I know how I'm going to be. I'm going to have the Phillies on a big screen. I'm going to have the Eagles on a smaller screen because, again, listen, Houston fans, luckily you have the Astros because the rest of your teams absolutely blow. Okay, so, one good thing is, I will say this to Willis, if you're still watching, the one thing still good for us in Philadelphia is we still have teams to talk about and play that are going to be competitive and going to be able to compete. Once this World Series is over, you guys got absolutely zero, nothing, nada, nothing to talk about. All you do is have to wait. You better hope you win this World Series because guess what? If not, it is going to be a long 6 months in the city of Houston, okay? Because the Rockets stink, the Texans stink, okay? You have to sit there and look at all of that with zero to talk about and talk about how the Philadelphia Phillies, went back to the well, changed some things up, took this demoralizing loss, put it in the fuel, lit a fire, and came out smoking and left you guys in the dust. Al says Justin V ERA is like 6.7 or something like that at World Series. It's 6.83, man. I mean, listen, yeah, he could throw a gem. But again, I don't think this is the situation where, he's going to be able to do it. I honestly don't. I don't think this is the right situation for him to be able to do it. Right now, the Philadelphia Phillies will be back tonight. I fully agree. By the way, Astros won 2017 World Series in 7 games. We're ready to go to distance if we have to. Willis, listen. Again, we're not going to talk about 2017, okay? Because obviously there was some stuff going on, and again, I'm one of those guys that really don't care about it. I think everybody cheats to get an edge. I mean, you guys took it over the top a little bit, but at least this would be. I will say this: this would be one of those things to where we actually, you win a World Series the right way. If you do that, which you won't, because I still feel like the Phillies are going to win. H-Town checking in says, talk that BS, Anthony Stroh's bust that is. Come on, man. I love the Astro fans that come in now, right? I know it. I love how listen, where were you guys yesterday? Right? Where were you guys after game 1? Like all of a sudden, like when the series gets tied up, now all the Astro fans come flooded in. And again, I love talking to everybody. That's what's great. Like I'm not cocky. I'm not arrogant. Like bring it all in, man. Bring it all in. I do. I like it, man. I like it. Willis, I smell a Texan victory heading into with the Eagles, man. I'll tell you what. If the Eagles lose against the Houston Texans, that might be worse than this loss that we just witnessed with the Philadelphia Phillies. Okay, so I do not see that happening. Al says, who cares? It's 2022. Right. Doesn't care about 2017. We're rebuilding with the Texans. Well, I will tell you this, Willis. I love Lovie Smith. I'm a big Lovie Smith guy. So if you are 100% rebuilding out there, I think you have the right coach. You got a great building piece in Dameon Pierce, the running back position. So I do agree with you there. I do like your coach. I was always a Lovie Smith guy, whether in his Chicago days, always. Listen, man, it's not about getting salty on you, man. It's about you're bringing up all these things. It might not be you, but right now, I mean, look, H-Town Big Steve comes in. I don't even know who the hell H-Town Big Steve is. He comes in right away with the fire right away. Haven't seen this dude all week right? At least you guys come in and you want to talk a little bit, which is fine. It's all good fun. We go back and forth. But this dude coming right away, going right for the hammer because of one game. Like, oh, yeah, he's hanging out in Mattress Mac, and all of a sudden he's talking about busting everybody's ass. I mean, come on, man. Al says the Eagles will smoke the Texans tonight. You'll be lucky to score 13 points. Listen, I think that game will be over at halftime, man. What Will says, if you ain't cheating, you ain't trying. Listen, there's one thing, man. Everybody wants an edge. Everybody wants an edge, but that was a little too far. I think a little too far. If you ain't cheating, you ain't trying. I love that statement, man. It's like, I agree. I hear you. Listen, I hear you. Everybody wants an edge. I get it. But that, trash cans, the wire, all that kind of stuff was a little deep. It was a little deep. Yeah. I just found, Willis, if you can listen, honestly, we all have fun here, man. It's all good fun. We have a great time after these post games. And again, we talk multiple sports, not just because of the World Series. We would be talking about the World Series if the Phillies weren't in the World Series. Obviously, I am a Philadelphia guy, and a lot of this fan base that you see is Philadelphia, born and bred, right? But we talk about all sports, National League, or national level, all over, man. 100%. So if you like the channel, hopefully you do. You like the conversation. Check me out. Make sure you subscribe. Check us out as a community. We're all in here. We talk back and forth, comments on YouTube, through the chat. I mean, it's all good fun, man. Listen, seriously, one thing I could say is this is going to be a tremendous final 2 to 3 games, whether it goes 6, whether it goes 7. I'll never hate on anybody for winning. Honestly, I'm more demoralized in our team for getting no hit than I'm saying that you guys did anything wrong in this series. I may have respect for the Houston Astros, in my opinion. They are a phenomenal team. We can hate them all we want, but usually when you hate somebody, it's because you can't beat them. So I'm not going to hate the Houston Astros. They're not walking around doing selfies like the San Diego Padres were doing. They're not cocky by any means. They're just good. I mean, listen, they're just good. And I'll grant it to them, man. They have taken that homegrown international talent and they've created a powerhouse. So good for them. All right, good for them. I just don't want that in my house, right? I just don't want to get no hit in my house. So I'm mad at my team. I'm not mad at the Houston Astros for doing what they do. I'm mad at my team. Okay, 100%. But we go into tonight. It's just all in the back of Thor. It's all in the back of our main hitters, 1 through 5. Let's see if Rob, if he switches the lineup up. Let's see what he has cooking for us tonight. I still have hope. I still believe. Again, I will go back. I did say that the Eagles. I did say that 100% that the Phillies in 6, and I still firmly believe that. Willis says, by the way, don't assume that you are going to win with heart. Listen, Willis, I will tell you one thing. I'm definitely not that guy. Now, the 2-minute warning here, my buddy Al, who says so they're proud of that cheating. Okay. He's a Sixers guy. He's the guy that's all he bleeds Sixers, right? So I won't say, let's not touch that. But what I will say is after this, make sure you come back to the channel. We'll start talking about 76ers. Okay. And you can all give us all the insight to the Houston James Harden. Okay, I'd love to hear it. He says he's a quitter. I love this. Javon says the first 2 innings of game 5. Yes, huge point. The first 2 innings of game 5 will tell us everything we need to know. If they come out, Javon, and they strike out 3 to 4 times in the first 5, first 2 innings out of 6, I'm going to be demoralized again. That can't happen. I think that they have to come out and set the tone right away, just like they did the other night. Bryce Harper hits that 2-run shot. Keep the momentum, keep the fans into it, and I think that once they do that, it will just take off from there. So I firmly agree with that, but the first 2 innings of game 5. On to game 5. Let's go Phillies. Absolutely. And I think that's a good spot right here where we talk. It's an hour into the show. We went an hour. We vented. We had our frustrations like we always do. We go into, listen, again, the series is tied 2-2. The series is tied 2-2. And again, We'll see what happens tonight. I firmly expect a lineup change. I firmly expect us to get right back on the horse and continue the ride and to continue to end this storybook that we opened up when Rob Thompson took over as manager and rise to Game 6 and to our first World Series since 2008. Lawrence says the way this crazy series is going, we could be talking about the Phillies scoring 10 runs tonight. 100%. And again, if you're checking on YouTube and you haven't subscribed to this channel, make sure you're subscribed. Make sure you're hitting the like button. Tons of good content. We try to bring you here. Obviously, it's powered by me. You will see my voice, but it's a community channel where we all check in. We all have fun, whether it be talking national topics, local topics, you name it. We are all here. Look, Vanessa checking in says Astros in 7. So Vanessa wants to check in with Astro. We got no more Houston people said this is what I love. It's okay. Astros in 7. Okay. Again, Astros in 7. All right. I mean, listen, it's cool. I could take it, but I still think the Philadelphia Phillies in 6. I'm still going Phillies in 6. Okay. I'm still going Phillies in 6. The second time around on pitchers always bode well for the Philadelphia Phillies for the most part. So my faith is in the Phillies to come in and take care of business tonight. Willis says, look, I remember, see, you can't bring it up. One thing with this channel, Willis, you can't bring up that. You can't bring up the Santa Claus thing because it's old. It's done, right? That's over now. Like that Santa Claus thing is so played out. You got to give me a new narrative, right? You got to give us a new narrative. As long as you give me a new narrative, we're good. That narrative washed out and played. Vanessa says it'll be a dogfight. It's going to be a dogfight, Vanessa, 100%. Like either way. And if you're, again, I appreciate you're new to this channel. Again, we talk about all sports on this channel. If you like the content, you like what you hear, if you hit the subscription button, hit that like button, I'd greatly appreciate it. Everybody in the chat would greatly appreciate it. We are a nice community here. We accept people from all fans, from all teams right here, and we have fun. And I agree, it'll be a dogfight, 100%. It's going to be very interesting to see what happens tonight. But let's wrap this up. Okay, I still say Phillies in 6. I see people say Astros in 7. So again, we're going to see what happens. All I know, I think what we can all agree with, Willis, H-Town, Vanessa, I know you're Houston fans, which is all good. Now we got Quaz says Astros in 6, okay, which is fine. I know everybody, that's fine. We're going to see. I say Phillies in 6. Some people are saying Phillies in 7. We shall see. But this comment right here is exactly what we're talking about. It'll be a dogfight is where we are at. It will be a dogfight, and that's exactly how we're going to end this. So again, Philadelphia Phillies go down, no hit in demoralizing fashion, something I don't think any of us could have predicted. I think that if we continued on this stream, we will continue to get new people followed in. But just because we're not live doesn't mean you can't contribute to the conversation. YouTube is great in the sense that they have a comment section that is always open. Go in those comments, okay? Type in your comments. Let me know how you're feeling. Do you 100% believe one way or the other, whether you're a Houston fan, whether you're a Phillies fan, okay? Again, make sure, Al, my man Al checking in, make sure you guys all hit that bell and don't run. Yes, hit that bell. He's talking to you Houston fans, right? Because we want this, right? We want to have this good camaraderie back and forth, just like the Phillies do internally on the team. We want to have that on this channel. So make sure you're in the comments. I will answer the comments. Other people answer the comments. That's what's great about this community. People are always there, man. People are always there. Did you burn disco records? Yeah, what is that about? Yeah, I got to ask you what that means. Before I go, what is that? Willis, what does that mean? I feel like giving you like what you talk about, Willis, like different strokes, like a little Gary Coleman action here. But did you burn disco records? I used to be a DJ back in the day, in my heyday, but I didn't burn no disco records. No disco fever here, man. That's for damn sure. I was not a disco. I ain't that goddamn old. Jesus, I know I'm old, but I ain't that old. Damn, disco. You're bringing me back to like the 70s era, man. I wasn't even born. Man, you're killing me. But yeah, listen, what I was saying is, in the chat, in the comments, I was going back with a couple people today. And again, if you're social media people, if you're social media, make sure you're following at Judge Jigsaw right there. Also, again, I say this all the time. This is powered by two other great networks. First, we have Heat Ratio Sports, which some people are watching on that channel. Make sure you're subscribed. Great station for people that talk local and national topics. Also, Win Daily Sports. If you're watching on that channel, another one powered by Win Daily Sports. Your home for sports betting and DFS, Daily Fantasy Sports. Make sure you subscribe to that. Tons of great content there. And as always, brought to you by the flagship sponsor of the show, SEObrand.com, the home where all analytics for search engine optimization begin. With that, I'm going to sign off for Tony Jigsaw Cutillo, for the final judgment, for the final judgment community, for everybody checking in, Houston fans, Philly fans. And Vanessa says it'll be a dogfight, and goddamn, yes, it will. It will be a dogfight to the very end. We will be right back here live after last pitch tonight. Win or lose, it doesn't matter. Bring the energy, bring it all. Well, Astro fans, if you lost, still bring it. Philly fans, if we lose, still bring it. It doesn't matter. The series does not end tomorrow night either way, but it will it will tell a tremendous story about who is going to win in the very end. So, like I always say on this channel, some people have thoughts and some people have takes, but on this show, you get the final judgment.